Today I will learn about one way to recycle plastic bags and create something new with everyday grocery bags. One plastic bag, Isatou Ceesay and the Recycling Women of the Gambia by Miranda Paul. Njau, Gambia. Isatou walks with her chin frozen. Fat raindrops pelt her bare arms. Her face hides in the shadow of a palm leaf basket, and her neck stings with every step. Warm scents of burning wood and bubbling peanut stew drift past. Her village is close now. She lifts her nose to catch the smell. The basket tips. One fruit tumbles, then two, then 10. The basket breaks. Isatou kicks the dirt. Something silky dances past her eyes, softening her anger. It moves like a flag, flapping in the wind, and settles under a tamarind tree. Isatou slides the strange fabric through her fingers and discovers it can carry things inside. She gathers her fruits in the bag. The basket is useless now. She drops it, knowing it will crumble and mix back in with the dirt. 4 goats greet Isatou as Grandmother Mbube emerges from her kitchen hut. Hurry in before the rain soaks your beautiful mbuba. Isatou scurries in and Grandmother serves spicy rice and fish. Rain drums on the creaking aluminum roof. I broke your basket, Isatou confesses, but I found this. Plastic, Grandmother frowns. There's more in the city. Day after day, Isatou watches neighbors tote their things in bright blue or black plastic bags. Children slurp water and manjo from tiny holes poked in the clear bags. Market trays fill with minties wrapped in rainbows of plastic. The colors are beautiful, she thinks. She swings her bag high. The handle breaks. 1 paper escapes, then 2, then 10. Isatou shakes sand off her papers. Another plastic bag floats by, and she tucks her things inside. The torn bag is useless now. She drops it to the dirt, as everyone does. There's nowhere else to put it. Day after day, the bag she dropped is still there. 1 plastic bag becomes 2, then 10, then 100. Plastic isn't beautiful anymore, she thinks. Her feet step down a cleaner path, and the thought floats away. Years pass, and Isatou grows into a woman. She barely notices the ugliness growing around her, until the ugliness finds its way to her. Isatou hears a goat crying and hurries toward Grandmother's house. Why is it tied up? Where are the other goats? Inside, the butcher is speaking in a low voice. Many goats have been eating these, he says. The bags twist around their insides and the animals cannot survive. Now 3 of your goats and so many other goats in the village have died. Grandmother Mbombe's powerful shoulders sag. Isatou must be strong and do something, but what? Isatou's feet lead her to the old ugly road. A pile of garbage stands as wide as Grandmother's cooking hut. Mosquitoes swarm near dirty pools of water alongside the pile. Smoke from burning plastic bags stings her nose. Her feet back away. Goats scamper past. They forage through the trash for food. Her feet stop. She knows too much to ignore it now. Holding her breath, she plucks 1 plastic bag from the pile, then 2, then 10, then 100. What can we do? Isatou asks her friends. Let's wash them, says Fatima, pulling out almost soap. Maram grabs a bucket and Inca fetches water from the well. Peggy finds clothespins and they clip the washed bags on the line. As the bags dry, Isatou watches her sister crochet. Can you teach me? Wow, yes, her sister shows Isatou the stitches, then hands her a metal tool. Isatou's fingers busy themselves. In, out, around. Thank you. Isatou finds a broomstick and carves her own tool from its wood. What's that for? Fatima asks. Isatou pauses. She and Peggy have an idea, but will their friends think it's crazy? Will the idea even work? Nervously, she explains the plan. One friend agrees to help, then 2, then 5. The women cut bags into strips and roll them into spools of plastic thread. Before long, they teach themselves how to crochet with the thread. Nacha ligebi, asked grandmother. How's the work? Nodanda, nodanda, answers Isitu. Slow. Some people in the village laugh at us. Others call us dirty. But I believe that what we are doing is good. The women crochet by candlelight, away from those who mock them. Until a morning comes when they no longer work in secret. Fingers sore and blistered, Isitu hauls the recycled purses to the city. One person laughs at her, then 2, then 10, then... One woman lays Dalasi coins on the table. She chooses a purse and shows it to one friend. Then 2, then 10. Soon, everyone wants one. Isitu fills her own purse with Dalasi. She zips it shut and rides home to tell grandmother she has made enough to buy a new goat. When she passes by the pile of rubbish, she smiles because it's smaller now. She tells herself one day it will be gone and my home will be beautiful. And it was. The rest of the book shows you a little bit more about this amazing idea of using the plastic bags and creating something new. Here's the women working in one of the pictures. Remember, this story takes place in Africa, in the west part of Africa. All right, let's get started. I hope you were inspired by our story today, and I hope you find inside your STEM bag several grocery plastic bags. These have all been recycled from TES families and were donated to us so that we could work on them. The first thing we need to do is make them into strips, just like in the story. And here's how that you can do that. Flatten out the bag, as you see here, and fold it in half. You're going to have to really smooth out so there's not air bubbles. Fold it in half again. This will make it so that the end of the bag and the handle part of the bag are together. Like, here's all the ends, and I'm going to cut them off. That I can set aside or recycle. Here are the handles, and I don't need those either, so I'm going to cut that part off as well. So those parts just get recycled. But this part here, we can use and make into strips. Notice I folded it one more time, and then I'm folding it in half. When it's folded in half, go ahead and cut it in half. Take those 2 smaller pieces and fold them in half again, and cut them as well. There's one, and I'm going to cut the other one. So I've cut the inside of the bag into 4 different pieces. And look at what happens when you open them up. If I open up this part of the grocery bag, it is a loop, as you can see, and it's thin enough that I can work with it. So I've made 1 loop, just like so. And I'm going to need to make that loop longer if I'm going to really do anything with it. So I'm going to take another loop, open it up, and you'll notice that it's very easy to work with. They're actually quite soft. And I can join them by doing the following. Lay 1 loop on top of the other loop, trying to make it nice and clear for you. And then as you fold up one side of the opposite loop, you're going to pull the other one through. We're going to do that again so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. We're going to do it again, this time with a brown bag. The one I had before was gray. Color doesn't matter, but it might be something to consider based on what you decide to make. I'm folding it in half, making sure that I line it up as best I can. The handles are sticking up together. Folding it in half again, and I'm going to snip off the bottom, recycle that, and snip off the handles, just like so. Okay, and I'll recycle that. And then if you remember, I'm folding it in half again, just to make it smaller to cut. I will fold that nice and tall. There's a loop in there, I'm going to cut that. And then I'm going to cut it again and make 4 strips from the one plastic bag. There's 2, and this one makes 3 and 4. Okay, now remember these form loops, so you're going to open up a loop and straighten it out a little bit, lay it down, open up another loop, and the way we join the loops together is we put them on one on top of the other. There's that one. Put this one on top. I'm going to lift up that one so that underneath I can grab the ring on the left or the loop on the left, and I'll slowly pull them together. If you've ever made, like, taken some rubber bands and joined them together, it's the same thing. It's basically just taking the loops and putting one end through the other end so that you can have them joined together. Same thing with like rubber band bracelets or other things like that. So now I've got these 2 long pieces and I'm starting to think about what I might do with them. I definitely want to braid them, but I need one more piece. So I'm going to do it again with this white bag so that I then have 3 different colors to work with. So now that I have these 3 different pieces that I can work with, the first thing I'm going to do is braid them. And this is just one idea of something you could do with these plastic bags to reuse them. If you know how to crochet or you know how to hook them together in a different way, go for it. I'd love to see it. But today I'm just going to do a simple braid. It's going to make it into a stronger knot than you might think, or a stronger rope rather than you might think. So to braid it, start by just tying the ends together into a nice square knot so that they will stay together. I'm going to need to tape down my project here onto the table, otherwise I don't think I'll be able to braid it. But braiding, if you haven't done so before, involves just 3 pieces, and basically you take turns bringing the one on the outside into the middle. And you alternate sides. Bring one into the middle from the outside. The white's going to go into the middle next. It goes over the top, into the middle, and now I go to the other side, so the brown is going to go into the middle, then the gray goes into the middle, and they just keep swapping and taking turns. After braiding the bags, here's what I came up with. It's a pretty strong rope and could be used for all sorts of things that you needed to put together or maybe even hang a plant from. But I decided to use my rope in a bit of a different way. Check it out. I made some jewelry. I thought this rope would actually look great as a bracelet. But there's so many things you can do with this. Check out all these great ideas of things that you can make with plastic bags. You might need some grown-ups' help if you're going to be doing anything that involves ironing, but for the most part, these bags can be reused for so many different ideas, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.